Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host Ken Nichols and I'm here with Melanie Nichols. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and Melanie is one of the top curl and hair color experts anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products that can be found at rawhairorganics.com. So, this is show number 216. If you've been following along, welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening. Melanie, how are you today?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. A little bit rushed. We had to take Murphy for her vet visit, and it took, an hour and a half. So that put me a little behind schedule, but we made it. She's good. She's good. She's got that just like crazy red eyes, and so we're looking into that.
It's allergy season around here. So.
We think it's allergy season, but it's been an ongoing thing, and they're like super duper red. So anyway, we're just looking into it, and hopefully all is fine. She gave me some drops to give her, and then we're going to maybe go see an eye specialist just to be sure.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, I think it's just a part of aging.
Yeah.
But everything else was fine.
Yeah.
Good. So we're good.
Well, good. Wonderful. If you're new to the show, again, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. We live stream this show every Monday night as a video where you can participate with your questions in several different places, such as on Facebook, in the Curly Girl support group, the Curly Hair Q&A group, the Diva Curl user support group, the Raw Curls user support group, the Curly Silvers support group, the Shea Moisture user support group, and the Curly Hair Q&A show Facebook page. You can also watch us live streaming on YouTube on the Curly Hair Q&A show channel. You can find us there. All our previous shows are archived there as well, so you can find them and our questions of the day and all that other fun stuff. Also on Instagram at Raw Curls. Hey, Instagram, thanks for joining us
Instagram.
tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight, although we try to get questions from you guys every once in a while.
Try to look over there and squint.
It's like this big.
Yeah.
It's
Talking about getting old.
Right, and I can't squint because if I squint,
you have no eyes.
I have none. I won't see.
I know. I've had to give in to readers for real now because I just can't squint enough. Me too. I've got mine. Yeah. And wow, what a difference it makes. You put them on and you're like, whoa, I can totally read. Everything's super clear.
I want fashionable readers.
Like mine?
Yes. And I went to Sam's Club and I got my free eye exam, and
it's crazy when you try to look far away, though. Then it's like...
Well, they told me, they said, yeah, you use readers, and because I wanted to know exactly which ones I should be using, right?
You don't need fancy readers. Nobody does.
I wanted something just a little more stylish. And he's looking at me like I'm from outer space. And I finally,
nobody gets stylish
right,
readers.
I'm looking at him like, I want like regular frames with these. Look, I take my money.
You can go to Best of Everything.
Like, well,
we'll go to Best of Everything and get you some pretty frames.
But I want
all colorful,
no, like
and
the ones
fancy.
you bring for holidays around here. No.
Yeah, no. Well, what do you want?
I wanted a good quality one because they break all the time because I buy the $5.97 ones, and I'll bet you I go through 4 or 5 a year.
For sure, everyone does. They have millions of pairs and they leave them everywhere, and you definitely are too hard on things and forgetful. So no.
Well, they
you
break.
can just get the cheapies.
Well, tonight, as you can see, I've got multiple pages. I'm going to be using readers on these.
Yeah, that's pretty small print.
Stuff to talk about. Tonight. We are also a podcast. We are a 2019 and 2021 award-winning podcast, the #2 ranked hair industry podcast that you must listen to and subscribe to this year. You can listen to this episode and all the previous archived shows as podcasts on the Curly Hair Q&A show podcast. Every Monday night, usually by about 10 p.m. Eastern time, this show will be uploaded. This live show will be uploaded, and you can listen to it wherever you consume your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Podcast Addict, Podbean, and SoundCloud. Lately, I used to be a big Stitcher guy. Now I've switched to Podbean, and
you're a trader.
It's easier to navigate.
Hmm.
It's easier to navigate. You know what?
What do you
I
listen to stuff on there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
What do you listen to?
all kinds of different podcasts and stuff. It's the equivalent of listening to an audiobook, but much shorter.
Hmm. While you're working?
Or working out or driving. Usually driving.
Okay.
Like I'll typically listen to two on the way home. I'll usually listen to the Hunt the Front guys on the way home, and then like tonight, I'll listen to ours, and I'll critique the hell out of it. And then, as Helen and I discussed earlier today, I'll critique the heck out of it, won't write anything down, and then I'll forget to tell anybody in the control room. And then
That's
any
not
issue I
helpful.
find, right, will never be found until I think of
Okay.
it 6 weeks later, like I did today.
All righty then.
Anyway, so
See,
that's that. So you can, wherever you want to consume us, you can
we're
find us.
there.
Yeah, we are there. Our show tonight is sponsored by Raw Curls and the Raw Curls Academy. What is the Raw Curls Academy? It is a training program for licensed professional hairstylists to learn to be curl specialists, and we teach that all across the country in 2021. Check out rawcurls.com/academy if you'd like to sign up for one of these workshops, or if you would like to volunteer your salon to be a host salon and host us for a Sunday and a Monday for a 2-day workshop. We make it worth your while, let me tell you.
The curl bus is coming.
The curl bus is coming. Yep.
Did you get the real plate?
Yep.
Okay.
It's on.
Oh.
We got the curl bus
Okay.
plate. I'll take a picture of it.
Cool.
I'll take a picture of it this week, and I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys next week. There's an Amber Alert that's interrupting our show.
Uh-oh.
Is there a way to? What's that button on the bottom? Is it
Next.
neck? No, you don't want next. Just let it run itself out. Is it even our county? What's it say? Sorry, we're getting interrupted by an Amber Alert. Not much we can do. That's way North Florida. We'll leave it. It should go away on its own. Anyway, hopefully that person gets found, but it's way north.
We
of
have
there.
silver
It'll
alerts
scare
at the
me up.
salon all the time. These
All
old
the
people like
time. All
run
the time.
out. Like JoJo, she is running out of the salon, and Karen's like, "Where you going, Mom?" And she's like, "Out the door." I said, "Silver alert."
That-
She's just out of there.
That is a big thing down here, actually. I
Yeah.
see it on the freeway. all
She's
the time.
she was out.
Yeah. We've got a Raw Curls Academy class coming up. They're very affordable too. We've got a Raw Curls Academy class coming up in 2 weeks at the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. However, you can't sign up for it because it's sold out. Sorry, you missed out on that
Awful.
one. But we've got several coming up that you can find at rawcurls.com/academy. You'll see a whole bunch of them. Or if you'd like to host, send us an email to my assistant, wholesale@rawhairorganics.com. We've also got get this. So I announced this last week. We've also got a class coming up in Minneapolis at the Uptown Curl Salon, July 31st and August 1st.
It should be
And-
thought out by then.
It should be thought out by then. We're taking the curl bus and we're taking over that parking lot. And we're bringing Murphy. Whole family's going.
Yay. Oh,
The-
that's cute. I just saw how they have on the bottom ahead of the curve. That's cute.
Yes, ahead of the curve. What's interesting about this Uptown Curl class that we have going on, I announced it last week, and I said, "Hey, we're going to need models there, right, for that class."
Mhm.
In one day, I got 9 submissions.
Excellent.
I know. I'm like it's funny. Holy cow!
Yeah.
We do so if you are a licensed professional stylist in the Minneapolis area, you can sign up for that class. There are some spots left. I don't know if there's any model spots left yet, but we do have spots.
Well, yeah. That's good. I did fill the last model spot for my class in 2 weeks. too.
Okay, I was literally just going to give you like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, I didn't get any other pictures and photos, so but I did. I have somebody that is gonna take that spot, so
Okay, good,
it's all worked out, and she's super excited.
good,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. Melanie, do you have any fun facts for us tonight? You want to start us off with anything fun or interesting?
Well, I do, but before we get into that, I want to go back to, because since we're talking about the academy and the curl class, I know I saw while I was waiting for Murphy at the vet, There's a lot of people asking what the raw curls cut is, or they've never heard of it. How is it different from the diva cut? Is it a diva cut? You know, how can I tell my stylist to do the raw curls cut? And so I found that very interesting, and I was trying to answer some of those questions. Oh, um, but so I don't know how many people would get this answer from the show, but I just wanted to talk about it because it seems like there's a lot of questions. So typically in the curly world, there has been two main cutting systems: the Diva cut, which is dry; the Weed Ed cut, which is wet. Now there has been other systems that have
Morphed.
morphed, yeah, or been created, including my own, which is the raw curls cut. So, what it is an all-encompassing curly cut, and it is completely customized to your curls, your individual needs for your curls at that moment. So, we are able to do dry cutting. I'm able to do wet cutting. I do it all depending on what your curls need because your those needs change. So a lot of times, I do a combination cut where we're doing all of it. I do believe in dry cutting for sure, and there's a time and a place for both. And there's things that it's not just one size fits all. So it works for any style and for any curl type to make your curls look their best. And it's like I say, one time somebody might come in and I do, completely just all dry cutting. Another time, I do a combination cut. The cool thing about it is I can do any of that on any style and make your curls look better.
Yeah, and a lot of those other color major mainstream cutting systems can't because they concentrate on one thing. They don't
Right.
do the others. Like the Diva does
Right.
dry,
They
the
don't
Weed
really
Ed does
step out of that
wet. They don't
box.
step out of that box. Which, in other words, when a client sits in the chair of a stylist that's trained in one of those, they've got to fit you into that box of their training.
Which isn't bad, and I don't want
Well,
to,
no, no,
give
yeah, I don't mean it that way at
you
all.
know, I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
to give
I'm
people
just
the impression because
the
I've been
people
trained in
ask.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the difference. So,
yeah,
Diva just does cutting dry, Vita just does cutting wet. They don't combine those systems, and I find that there's a lot of a lot of techniques that need to cross over in order to combat or fix, problems in curly hair. So it just takes, both of those systems are good. I just feel like I can, mine is it just makes the hair look better. There was some things that I found that uh, were better when I did all dry cutting, but they weren't completely eliminated. So when I started combining techniques from different systems, it just made the curls perfect, and I was happy because I am a type A personality. Even if it's not perfect to me, then I'm not happy. And so, and also it allows. This is something that's interesting and possibly different. A point of difference is it allows people to have versatility with their curls. Not everybody wants to wear their curls curly 24/7, 365. So if they decide they're going to something where they want to have it blown out or they just want a different look for the day or whatever, they are able to wear their hair however they want and it still works.
yeah, yeah. Um, then that's a really good description of it.
Hmm.
So, if you are a licensed professional stylist or your stylist you believe could use some curly hair training, maybe has no training, this would be one to look into.
Yeah, that was the other thing because someone said, what can I tell my stylist, how to cut that? You really can't.
Can't, yeah,
It's not like a, hey, I just tell them how to, cut this. It's not. I mean, it's a really intense 2 day, all day. It really should be a 3 day course of many, many years and, hours and
yeah,
dollars of training.
yep,
So it's not like you can just go and tell your stylist, to do this type of cutting or this style. All I can say is recommend that they come and take a class.
right, absolutely. Years ago, here's a fun fact. Years ago, Melanie had a coworker who's a licensed stylist, professional, probably has as many years in the industry as Melanie does, and she had no curly hair training, and once or twice she walked into Melanie's salon and stood next to her and said, teach me how to cut curly hair.
Mm.
And she's like, well, it's going to take a few days and a lot of practice. She's like, just show me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And she couldn't wrap her head around the fact that it's completely different than what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
not
think she
like
got
a
pissed
just.
off and man, well,
Oh,
she's kind of a bully.
yeah, she is.
No, she's not kind of a bully.
Yeah, she's a big bully. Yeah, so it's not like a just, yeah, again, even
just
with
show me.
somebody like that, just show me. No, it doesn't work that way. Like I can't
Yeah.
just in 5 minutes show you, hey, do this.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's a whole system and it's a totally different way of cutting, holding your shears, the different angles, there's so much to it. So yeah, no, you have to go through the training. And I offered that. She could have, I even offered her a discount to go through the training.
That's right. And she still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, she was still mad. I'm like, well, whatever.
Whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, moving on. Hey, I've got a fun fact. Actually, I've got two fun facts.
I had one that I told Jessica we should write down because now I forgot. And
that's why you write it down.
Yeah, right. I said that should be a fun fact. Well, maybe it'll come to me.
Maybe it will as we go on. For those of you who are in the Facebook groups that I peruse around, you'll notice that every once in a while, I'll make a post or something, and I do this frankly. I literally do this just because I want the credibility of it, not to like pat myself on the back. It's really just kind of the credibility thing of it. But a lot of times, just because of how long we've been in the industry, we'll hear about things that are happening before they actually happen, and I'm usually told, don't say anything, but don't say anything until
that's the
blank,
worst to
whatever.
tell Ken.
Right. And I'm usually pretty good at not.
No, you're not.
Well, they
You're
keep
horrible.
telling me. They keep
You're
telling me, so I
horrible.
must be okay.
No.
Well, here's an interesting one.
Don't tell them unless you want it.
So about a month ago.
Oh, and they went.
So about a month ago, I was told one, and I was told, "Hey, don't say anything, but this deal is really close to happening in the curly hair world." And I said, "Huh, really?" And they said, "Yeah, but don't say anything." Well, the announcement came out, and I forgot. And I mentioned this. We have a curly hair group, a private group just for professional stylists, right? Curly hair stylists. So I mentioned this, like a couple of days after. I'm like, hey, I forgot to tell you guys this, but and everybody's like, what? I'm like, yeah, sorry if you knew about this, but I forgot. But it actually went. The reason I'm telling you guys this because it'll apply to you guys quite a bit. At least a lot of you who listen and watch, it'll apply to you quite a bit. And it's just interesting because it came through very quietly. Like I didn't see this really talked about anywhere else, and I was really surprised why. But here's the breaking news that's a week and a half old already, almost 2 weeks old.
So everybody already knows what's the big deal.
No, that's the thing is that it didn't really make it out, But some of you, your favorite line, the Curls brand of curly hair products. See, if you're watching on live stream, you can see I'm holding up one of their bottles that happens to be on our table tonight. They actually sold a 50% stake in their company, half of their company, to. Do we have? I don't think we have one.
A wet brush?
No, we don't have that either.
Well, you didn't tell me to buy
I was going to show you. I was going to show you who's dating now, but when I do the marionette show, I was going to show you, but I don't have the boyfriend's not here.
Oh, how do you know that's the girl?
Or the girlfriend's not here. I'm going to say this is.
This is not politically correct.
No, it's not. But you're getting where I'm coming from. But anyway, so the Curls brand sold 50% stake of the company to the company that owns Weedad. I found that.
Which is what?
Ooh, yeah. I found that really interesting for a couple of reasons. One, if they were looking for something that was maybe something that was at a little lower price point than the Weedad line, I thought, okay, that deal makes sense, right?
We don't have any Weedad.
But
I know we did.
I know we don't, but we don't have any. I don't know why.
We did.
I think we gave it away in the Curl Crap giveaways.
Oh, we haven't done one of those in a while. We need
That's
to
how
do
long
one.
it's been. Well, we're gonna as soon as we
some of
finish this
stuff.
topic, a lot of this is gonna go.
Yeah.
So you guys hang around because we're gonna do a Curl Crap giveaway in a few weeks when we get finished. But then I remembered that in the last couple of months here, Weed Ad came out with that cheaper budget line, the Twist line.
Oh, right, right, right.
So why in the heck did they buy
Hmm.
into curls? It didn't make any sense.
I don't
Um,
know.
unle-
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the only thing that I could think of is is maybe market share. They've already got an established market share they wanted to get into. The official press release said that the company wanted to invest in black-owned curly hair brands and black female curly hair brands, and that's why they made the
Otherwise, they would have
partnership.
chosen us for sure.
I don't think we would have did it, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole nother story. I don't think we would have did it,
Okay.
but it'd be it's not it's like being at
Be
the
fun
dance.
saying no.
It's nice to be right. It's nice to be asked.
I used to Here's a fun
It's
fact.
nice to be
So I
asked.
used to love interviewing for jobs just to see if I would get an offer.
So you could say no.
So I could say no. So I was okay. So I'm a little bit of a control freak and weird, but whatever. So yeah, but I would love to go. It was like a challenge, go on an interview and see if they would give
Yeah.
me the offer, and then
Yeah.
I get to decide.
Right.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I've been self-employed my whole life. I can't even remember.
You wouldn't get many offers.
Probably not. Probably not. But anyway, so that deal happened. They are looking for to do more international distribution. To me, that's always the first thing I look at when you're looking at a partner as big as the company. See, the company that owns Weed Ad now is they own a number of different brands. Amica, right? Don't they?
I don't know.
I think they own Amica, the
remember.
one that's got all the funky colors on their labels. I think that's
Oh.
Amica. They own Amica.
Yeah,
They own
yeah.
Wet Brush.
Oh.
What else? I can't think of what else they own. But they're not gigantic, but they ain't small. I'll tell you that.
What's the name of it? Do you know?
JB, isn't it?
Is it the one that?
The guy died on the scooter.
Yeah. Okay.
That
I was
guy,
gonna say
yeah.
the one that bought that Chadwick and them were working with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, JB.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say
They might
I
be
think-
called something else now. The owner, yeah, the owner, majority shareholder or whatever, was killed about 2 winters ago. Went on vacation to the Caribbean with his family, and rented one of those little scooters and had a run in with a
Mm.
terrible,
Sad.
really sad, especially with everything that was going on with their company at the time. Oh my God, talk about bad timing. But anyway, so yeah, so
Interesting.
there's some interesting information. My guess is that if you're in different parts of the world and you're listening to this, and we know this, trust me, lots of people contact me about this all the time. I wish that I could give you better answers, but it's just going to be a matter of time before you start seeing, more and more better curly hair brands throughout the world. It's don't blame the companies.
There's so
Blame-
many.
blame-
Like, why do we
blame
need more?
the governments. It's because it's taxes and tariffs and
Yeah, but there's
regulations. are
so
always a
many
killer.
brands now.
Yeah, but trying to get them into different countries
Oh,
is
okay.
that's a
All
pain in
right.
the butt. So.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's one fun fact. Now here's the other fun fact, and I think I mentioned this to you, Melanie. I'm not sure, but it looks like as of May 1st or sooner, as of May 1st, the Raw Curls brand is going to be discontinuing a couple of items.
What?
Yes,
You didn't talk to me about
forever. I didn't tell you this.
this. No.
Okay, you'll
Shouldn't
agree
it
with
be
it.
a discussion?
No.
Not I'm telling you this?
No, because you'll agree with it.
Oh.
You'll agree with it.
However, everyone who begged to have the Daily Dose shampoo, those products back, where are they? They disappeared. So yeah,
I
that one
haven't
we can
marketed
just
them.
say forget it.
Yeah, I haven't marketed them, but they and we're gonna do that. We just haven't had time. We're just stretching as thin as we can, thin as we can be. But yeah, as of it looks like May 1st or sooner, we're going to be discontinuing the Raw Curl Starter Kit number 4 and the Raw Curl Starter Kit number 5, and the Raw Curl Starter Kit number 1 and the Raw Curl Starter Kit number 2. Now you're saying, holy crap, how or why are you doing that? The reason that we're doing that is, for example, number 4 and number 5, those are the wavy, swavy kits that have the mousse and
It
whatever.
just came out.
Right. One has firm hold gel in it, one has medium hold gel in it. These kits, I've said this before, whether you believe it or not, it's the truth. We don't make money on them, and they're a pain in the butt to put together. They're
Mm-hmm.
time consuming as heck.
Mm.
And we started to realize, you know what? Let's just make one kit of Wavy Swavy that has both
I
the
think
medium
I've
and the
heard
firm
that
gel in it.
somewhere before.
You know, we'll
but
just do that. Well, there's a reason that we did that before, and it was for our benefit.
Mm.
It looked like it was for the customer's benefit, but it wasn't. It was for ours. It's true.
Okay.
So that is becoming a kit on its own. It'll be Wavy Swavy kit, and that's it. And there'll be 6 items in it. And we had the original raw curl starter kits that had, medium hold gel in it, and one had firm hold gel in it. We're eliminating that and only selling. We're only going to have the 5-pack kit that has both gels in
that
it.
makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
People like that because even if they tend to feel like they're going to use one, they can experiment with the other, and you never know.
Yeah. And here's the bonus to all that.
Bonus.
Yes, and this is a bonus. If there's any other items that maybe you would like to try that maybe weren't available in the kit that you bought, you'll be able to buy those individually for $9.97 extra. Trust me, it's still a bargain.
You mean the little?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
You'll be able to buy the ones that you can't. You'll be able to buy them individually. So
okay.
anyway, so now you know it. So if you want one of
I
those,
am okay with that. You're right.
Yeah, I knew you would be.
I think that's smart.
It goes back to our conversation
better.
yesterday about where we can't do that here anymore.
It's
too much work.
Doesn't make sense to have them all separate. Just have it all in one, and if you don't end up using one, give it to somebody. I don't know, but
Yep.
most people like to try the different the samples in one pack.
Yeah, yeah. So that's that. So if you want one of those, if you've been wanting to try and you've been putting it off, grab one now. I made this announcement yesterday in the Raw Curls user support group on Facebook. You guys, hey, I made that announcement in there because those are our peeps. They get all the good information first. And I think, I forget which one, but one of them, there were like 25 or 30 left. All of them sold out yesterday.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah. So if you want one, you better go look tonight
Mm.
after this show.
Okay.
Or maybe now, one or the other. But but as soon as they're gone, they're gone. So, all right. So, Melanie, what would you like to talk about now? I'm going to give you a couple of things that we can talk about tonight. We can either go into questions. We've got plenty of questions, or we can start to touch on as making this kind of the part 3 of our previous 2 parts about talking about ingredient quality and water solubility. I really wanted to touch on that a bit because what happened after that last show is there were a lot of people that went into the mostly into the Facebook groups and turned this into a discussion about what we talked about. And a lot of people posted their thoughts and comments and feelings about what we talked about. I went through those and I looked at a lot of those and I did my best to not respond. And a lot of times, people think that I'm in these groups all day long, every day. I mean, I work, so I'm not. And a lot of times I'm in there, but I don't respond because I want you guys to engage with each other. If I need to be involved or my, expertise is asked for, I'll do that. But for the most part, I don't. And Melanie will when she gets a chance. But I saw it. But a lot of the discussion that came up, I started looking through them, and I'd say, without exaggeration, virtually every comment or assumption off of what we talked about in part 2 of this discussion was wrong. Was wrong. And I wanted to, and I'm not, we're going to talk about this a bit tonight, and I'm going to bring up some brands. We're going to talk about some brands, and I'm going to talk about some of these quotes that people made. I'm not going to address names. This is not to embarrass or humiliate, right? That it is not. It's purely for discussion. So don't think that. So that's why we're not going to bring it up. So don't think anybody's picking on you or anything. That's really not the case. It's this is such a tough discussion that nobody's really broke down the way that we have because it's really hard. It's
Mhm.
really hard to make it where a layperson can understand it. Like Melanie and I, and maybe some other manufacturers, we can sit and have a face to face, with somebody like, Sherry from Diva Curl or Weed at herself, and have this conversation and nod our heads at each other because we know, right? But other people, you know, don't. And we can tell you, like things that we've been talking about in parts 1 and part 2, that we know are facts. We know they're facts. They're not opinions. They're facts. But but there's a lot of people that believe what they believe, and facts be damned. And I get that. There's a lot of things that people hold really, you know, true to themselves as truths, kind of like what we were watching last night on TV. They
Mhm.
hold that really tight to themselves, but it doesn't make it any less not true, or true for that matter.
Yeah, it
It just
doesn't mean that it's right.
it doesn't mean that it's right. So we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk a bit about that tonight here, and then next week we'll go into part 4, and we'll go into a little bit.
Oh, I thought part 3 was wrapping it up.
I don't know if we'll be able to, because I did, like I said, we'll see here. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I also want to go over it. So I'm going to have to put on my readers
Mm.
because this
Your
print is so
cheap,
tight. My
unfashionable readers.
yes, right, exactly. My Walmart one. Um, so let's go into this. I like I said, I'm trying not to. I don't want to use any names, but a lot of what happened in these discussions is I saw, after Melanie and I talked about, you know, you know, really what the easiest way for a consumer such as yourselves to know, what's a good, high quality or water soluble and, product, being the ingredients being water soluble, but being truly water soluble. If you don't know what I'm talking about as far as grades of ingredients and levels, go back and watch part 1. I explain that in way too much detail, but you'll get it,
Mm.
right? But a lot of people in these groups skewered me about this, and
Mm.
both of us about this. And I'm going to read some of them, and um, we'll talk about them, and we'll debunk them, to a point. So a lot of people made the connection of our statements by going in one of two directions. First, there were those that said things like, just because a product is a lower price does not mean it's a lower quality than higher end curly hair products. They may be using the highest grade and quality ingredients, and they are just able to buy those ingredients cheaper than the other manufacturers because they are buying a lot of them, so they get better pricing and they are passing it on to the consumers. That's 100% false. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But I understand how people could think that, right? They think that um, so for example, like if you buy a box of cereal at Publix, that's our big grocery store chain down here in beautiful Southwest Florida, and you go to say Costco, you might find that that cereal in a 3-pack for way less, but in a different brand. Like, it is Kirkland the
Mhm.
Costco brand,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
could think to yourself, hey, it's because Costco's buying a whole lot more than ABC cereal brand or whatever. They're buying, so they're getting the ingredients cheaper and whatever. In the hair products world, as far as chemicals and let's just call them ingredients in general, um, yeah, volume matters, but the amount of volume is is a lot, and the batches that they're making, it's not
Well,
enough.
here's an
To get a
interesting.
20% to get here, let me put it this way. I'll put it this way. A lot of times you'll buy like liquid ingredients in tanker loads, and they're typically, a tanker load is typically 5,500 gallons. I know this for a fact because I actually owned several of those stainless steel tanker trailers that hold that kind of stuff. Um, the to get for a buyer to get a 15% discount on an entire tanker load is almost unheard of. That's a lousy 15%. I hated to even use that number because I've never heard of the difference of buying a truckload as opposed to a like a tank being 15%. I don't think I've ever even heard it.
Hmm.
It's not.
Well, I guess a lot of people don't even realize this. Like the big companies like the L'Oreal's, the Estee Lauders, they own just about every beauty brand and product out there. And they have expensive lines, they have cheap lines. They're buying gobs of ingredients and products all at one time. But
Yep.
yet, why are they marketing at different price points?
Right.
And they're using different price ingredients. Of course, they can't, sell everything at the high price
Right.
point. But also think of cars. It's like, if you're buying a Kia or whatever, what's a cheap brand of a car, you don't ex- expect it to be the same quality as like a Mercedes or BMW. It's just not as heavy of metal. It's not as nice of tires. It's not, it's just,
Technology.
yeah, the
Just
technology.
it's
So,
different.
I mean, it's that way in just about anything you could think of. So, yeah, that's,
Yeah, it's debunked. It's a good theory, but it really in the manufacturing end it really doesn't hold up. There's put it this way. The probably the biggest way that you could order like a liquid ingredient would be in a rail car, which is giant. Everybody knows what a rail car looks like, right? Um there there's a commodity those ingredients like that are commodities. So there's not a lot of profit in them to begin with. You know, I used to be in the commodities business in the chemical industry. I've told you guys before, whatever. It's just funny. I hadn't thought about this in years, but I can remember one of of having very spirited arguments with them trying to get my numbers down, and they just
mm-hmm.
wouldn't. I mean, they just wouldn't, and they'd tell me we can't, and I'd be like, how can you not? Right? I couldn't wrap my head around it. But after being in the industry for 20 years, you realize that it's just not there. Secondly, as Melanie was describing, these manufacturers, let's use L'Oreal as an example. L'Oreal, giant, probably the biggest player in the world in the hair products game, and they've got some stuff for curly hair, of course, in their lines. They're buying lots and lots of ingredients, and they're packaging all over the world. Um, they're not using high quality ingredients in lower priced products.
No, it wouldn't make
They're
them money. It doesn't make
that's
sense.
not it's right. It's about money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about money. Now, now you know what's funny, and I hate to say this because I know lots of people are going to roll their eyes, but um, the Raw Curls brand could be priced significantly higher.
Oh,
You
for
and I have
sure.
had this
For sure.
conversation a long time,
Absolutely.
but we're an indie brand,
Mm-hmm.
so we know to get our foothold, we have to be priced. Um, we have to be priced significant. If you guys remember, who are people who maybe buy or have shopped Raw Curls products, again, this isn't a sales pitch. It's an example. Before COVID hit, um, we had went through about a year period of time where we had dropped the prices 25% because we wanted to compete with Diva Curl when Diva Curl was going through their scandal. We looked at that and said, okay, we know we're a higher quality brand than they are. Now they're showing that they're with their issues, that they're a lower quality brand. We thought, okay, let's go toe to toe with them.
Mm.
And we lowered all the prices, and swallowed hard to do it, and went right with them and said, here you go, higher quality products, larger sizes for the same money, and made the customer choose. What's really interesting about that, we did that for a year, really didn't see a significant increase in sales. Really didn't. Not compared, because we, the metrics we use, we're looking at everything as all our ads and whatever. But believe it or not, those people didn't really jump off the bandwagon and leave Diva Curl. I find that so interesting.
I can give another
Is that the
analogy
bad
real
boy?
quick.
Is that the bad boyfriend thing? Can't leave the bad boyfriend
Probably.
because there's too many good things about him, even though you know he's
Maybe.
bad.
Yeah, probably. Um, Another good analogy is let's think of like a hamburger. You know, if you why oh, how can McDonald's sell their hamburger for $1 or whatever it is? You
Right.
know, compared to like if you go to a nice
Five Guys
restaurant,
is like 5.75.
yeah, like a Brooks burger, or, you know, something is always, you know, a nice quality meat is going to be
Burger
$10 or
Fi.
more. You know, why? You know, why wouldn't they just buy, you know, cheap meat and sell it for more? You know, you just anyway, yeah. So that's another good analogy. Like, you know, if you're comparing meats and, you know, fast food and, you know, it's because it's a lesser quality. They're selling it cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about the other end of this, and it's like I said, it's great. It's great discussion. Now the kind of the converse of this is some people, like I said, they kind of went two ways on this discussion. The second direction that a lot of these people went is that they made the connection that some of these higher end, expensive salon professional brands are indeed using what we would consider cheap or not water soluble, quote unquote, water soluble ingredients. In other words, like we talked about in part
Mm-hmm.
one, you
Mm-hmm.
know, ingredients that are water soluble, but they're leaving stuff behind because they're using lower grades. You know, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back, watch part one, you'll see it. But they were making the connection that just because a product, now let me put that a different way, that that we would consider a cheap or not water soluble ingredients, yet charging more than say a similar raw curls product. Several women used Kerastase as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now okay, is that so? When I saw that come up, I'm like, you're right. Now how do I address that? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now, th- you know, Kerastase Kerastase is not a curly hair product or product line. And our segment of the salon industry, as far as curly hair products, it's it's different. It's we as like professionals and consumers in the curly hair space, we're we're much more savvy and much more ingredient savvy. Um, and frankly, I don't see it. If I was going to name one big name that fit in this category of this part of the discussion, again, not bashing anybody, but I know a lot of you will agree. It's Diva Curl. They're priced like a high end. They always were for the longest time. You know, then they had the last buyout, and again, I'm not saying anything. No, nobody else here already knows. Um, that some of the ingredient, allegedly, the ingredient quality has changed or has suffered, or people have noticed a difference. Um, Kerastase, you know the other one, Joico is the other one that comes to mind. We've talked about this before. Like when Melanie and I go to a store, like if we go to, well, we went to Ulta yesterday, right? Was
Mm-hmm.
that yesterday? We
Mm-hmm.
went to We go to Ulta. What happens when we walk into an Ulta? I'm gone. I go right. Because I'm always looking at what do they got. I'm looking at the products. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at labels. Looking at what's new. No matter where we go, whether it's you know TJ Maxx or whatever the heck, and so I'm looking at all these, and I've thought that about Kerastase and Joico for a long time because those really are pushed as really high end salon brands, right? They're pricey.
Are you sure you're talking about Joyco? You were looking at Bumble and Bumble.
No, that was yesterday. I'm
Yeah,
not talking about
yeah,
that. I'm talking about because Joico's got a salon professional brand that they've
they
had.
do.
The big
Yeah,
right. That's the one
yeah.
I'm talking about.
Mm.
When you look at the pricing on that stuff, don't you remember? I think we were at a TJ Maxx maybe a month or two ago, and I walked up to you with a bottle. I said, "Did you see this?" And it was that. It was a Joico um, with a big price tag on it
Mm.
at a TJ Maxx,
Yeah.
and I'm flipping it over and looking at the ingredients, and I'm like, how in the world are they getting this? So to the people's point who brought that up and said, um, who brought up the point and said, hey, I think there's a lot of brands out there that are just using their name in the market as a premier brand, and they're selling us whatever they want, and they're going off that name. Um, I think yes, there are. In the curly
Yeah,
hair
there is
world,
some
though,
truth to that for
there is
sure.
for sure. But
It's
in the
this is not
curly
a
hair world,
foolproof like
yeah,
again, like
yeah,
everything fits into it because
I
you're right.
agree.
I mean, there definitely are always, going to be those brands that yes are charging higher prices and they don't have the quality to back it up.
They don't, right? In the curly hair world, like I said, it's a lot different because the consumer and the stylists, we're pretty knowledgeable. We're way more knowledgeable than other people in other ends of the hair world. Way more knowledgeable, way more savvy as far as ingredients and the like, right? So I don't see that. Other than, like I said, the only one that I could think of that came to mind was as far as maybe fitting in that was Diva Curl, and I think their prices are even coming down because they're
For
selling more
sure.
packages now,
Yeah,
like
they've come way down. Yeah.
combo things, right?
Mhm.
Whatever.
Mhm.
But so maybe that. But other than that, well, put it this way here: um, a 12-ounce bottle of Inner Sense Color Radiance or Color Awakening shampoo, they they ain't making that and selling it retail for $12.
Mm.
No way.
Mhm.
No way. And I can look at their ingredients and I know, no way. That there's no way we're making a 16-ounce bottle of Raw Curls cleanser and selling it retail for $12. There's no
Well,
possible way.
so there's
However, I can look at a bottle of um Diva Curl their ultra defining gel for sure. That's one that I know for a fact. Again, not picking on them, just making the point of I look at the price point and I look at the ingredients in there and I'm like, there's a lot of room in there. There's a lot of fat in there.
I mean, there's a difference again between, okay, salon quality and retail quality. Then, there's organic and non-organic.
Yeah.
That,
Oh wait, that's another one I
yeah,
meant to bring up.
because
No way.
those ingredients cost the manufacturer more uh, compared to, it would be so much easier and cheaper for us. I wish almost that we would have not even gone the organic route because it'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
Because it's way more complicated to do clean, organic, non-toxic,
Yep.
ingredients. It costs more to
Yep.
produce them. They have lots of regulations. You can't. They have shorter shelf lives. It's complicated, so the cost is more. And I think everybody, typically understands that whether you think it's a farce or not, it's not.
It's not.
Just
Yeah.
like with food items, they don't have the preservatives, they don't last as long. So if you want those, chemical free items, they're going to cost more money. So of course,
Right.
that's going to be a price point difference in hair products as well.
Yeah.
But interesting because those bottles of Diva Curl products that were at Ulta were spoiled yesterday. Remember you pointed those out?
I got lambasted
You did.
for talking about that in the Diva Curl support group on Facebook.
Oh.
Diva Curl user support
Yeah,
group.
well, I'm not surprised.
Lambasted.
I mean,
They thought the fact that I pointed it out was totally unprofessional.
hmm,
But a lot of people didn't. A lot of people actually. It wasn't like they were, you know, they're coming to my defense, but they're at the same time they're like, why would you be upset that somebody did this just because it happened to be me? You know, I just for those of you guys who didn't see it
mm,
yesterday, Melanie and I went to Ulta for whatever the heck. What'd you go for? You don't remember? What were you there for?
mm, I was looking for a foundation.
Oh, I go there to wander. I go there to wander and look at stuff. But I happened to be there, and I saw an area of shelves with larger what we call them back bar sizes of product and whatever. And I found some spoiled, out of date Diva Curl stuff. It is
Mm,
what it is. Sorry. And
mm,
I took pictures of it, and I and
yeah.
I and I posted them in Diva Curl's user support group, and I wasn't like a jerk about it. I pointed it out clearly, though, but I
It's
wasn't a
kind
jerk.
of alarming, I mean, it needs to be pulled off the shelf.
Well, that's the thing, and that became the discussion.
That's what it
Because
is.
they're
It's
like,
like,
"Why are you bashing?" They're like,
we're
"Why are you
not
bashing
bashing,
Diva
you're
Curl?"
just
Right? They're
showing
like,
that,
"This is an Ulta problem,"
yeah,
and I'm like, "Well, it's both."
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you know.
But, they have, I find it interesting because they use, regular preservatives in their in their products and that there was still an issue. I don't know how old those products were, but obviously,
I don't know.
anyway, it just was interesting because they were still out on the shelves for sale. And if somebody bought those, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, what wasn't trying to
mm.
see now. It sounds like we're picking, but
No,
it
because
just
we're
it's just
friends
because
with the company. I
we're
mean, we're
friends with them.
friends with the founders, so
Yeah,
whatever.
it
But
it it's yeah,
it happens.
it happened, right? Exactly.
It is more of an Ulta problem. It
Yeah,
just needs to be pulled.
it happened. But to the point, like I said, um, and these are just the three big ones that I can think of that that really set the bar for high ingredient quality in curly hair products. It would be you know Raw Curls, Intersense, Oway. People are using Oway stuff for curls, at least some of their stuff, not all of it. But when I look at any of those three brands and look at their labels, yeah, there's just no there's no way they're selling. How big is this thing? How big is that? 30 what?
33.8.
There's no way they're selling a 33.8 ounce bottle for $12 like Giovanni is. They're not. They're not. Which again, like I said, we'll talk more next week. We're going to get into more specifics of products, but I wanted to address these points. So
Well,
you
I mean,
know,
it's everyone's choice. We're just putting the
it
information
is.
out there, and it's
It
your
is.
choice. If you want to use,
Yeah.
you know, cheaper products because you feel that it works
Yeah.
for you, then that's your choice.
Yeah, yeah. There's another person made a comment and said, pricing isn't always about quality. There are economies of scale, buying in bulk. And don't forget the mystique of marketing. It's like name brand ibuprofen versus store brand. A few factories produce them all. So I don't believe it's linear. And as we know, not all ingredients work with all hair. Now, see, there's some truth to what you say there, but in the curly hair marketplace, just because I know it so well, inside and out, um, yeah, the economy of scale not significant enough to for there to be a justification of, for example, um, uh, yeah, I'll use a 40 just because I know it, like a $46 bottle of, like a 16-ounce bottle of an Intersense conditioner. Economy of scale. Even if they were buying 100 times more ingredients to make that product, they're not getting down, you know, to a double the size, right? A 16 ounce to a 33 ounce, and being able to retail it in a retail store for $12.99. Ain't happening. It ain't happening. It's just not. The mystique of marketing. Can you think of anybody that you in any not curly hair brand, in any hair brand that you believe is that the mystique of the marketing is driving the price up, or that you pay for it? Is Moroccan oil maybe like that?
Yeah, Moroccan oil is a good one.
Because that's priced up
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it
And
ain't great.
oh, you said in the because I
No,
mean
I meant
they
in anything. I meant
they did
in
have a
anything
good point about the Kerastase. Yeah, because it's not.
for sure.
But
As
that's
soon
a
as I read that,
again,
I was
that's
like,
a
oh,
L'Oreal own
right,
brand. So there you go.
yeah.
It's just like yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I did. As soon as when I was reading that, whenever, in my mind, I'm working through and I'm like, oh, I already know no, it's not. I know how I'm going to answer it. And then I saw that them mention and say, like Kerastase. I'm like, oh,
mhm,
oh,
mhm.
you're right. That one kind of does.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Touche.
And
Kind of
yeah, I
is.
would say Moroccan oil. Yeah,
Rock and
they're
oil,
really
yeah.
good at marketing.
Yeah.
Let's see. But skincare is famous for that. They mark stuff up dramatically.
hmm We
Um,
talk about it all the time. I've been much more open about talking about it. I didn't years ago, but like, we for those of you who don't know, we make a skincare brand, and we've got a vitamin C serum that we sell for, I don't know, $57 for an ounce, and there's a very large hotel chain that sells it in their high-end spas for $400 an ounce. It's the same thing.
hmm Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, I guess. If you have good marketing, it always is favorable. Because we've always talked about the fact that you can have the best product. Like we feel, Raw Curls is a really great product, and people that have used it have proven that time and time and time again. And, what a dramatic change it makes in their hair. But we're such a small company, self-funded, that it's hard for us to have those big marketing dollars, to put out there. So yeah, like we could have the best product in the world and it could just not go anywhere because we can't, have the marketing competition against the big companies. So we've seen that more often than not. There's some great things that are developed and they end up disappearing and not making it because the
Yep.
company just can't afford to market it
Yep.
properly and enough, against the big box or the big conglomerates,
Yep.
So
Yep.
you just don't have the same budget and it's hard to compete.
Yeah. And that is one of our secrets around here is that I laugh because there's lots of people have always made comments I've seen periodically that you know why aren't we in the Targets and Ultas and
Mm.
Sephoras and your line must not be good enough and whatever. I'm like,
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm
um,
so glad we're not in Ulta right now
well
because
that's
after
my
my
point is
experience
that
yesterday,
if yeah
okay,
you
well,
know
people, it may be a good situation for the consumer, but terrible. I don't know how any of
no
the companies with their products in there are going to make it because their policy was you can't touch anything or try it, so I was looking for a foundation. No, not even the employees can take it and open it or put it on their skin or your skin, not even using a Q-tip or a cotton pad, nothing, which you're just supposed to buy it. And they're like, well, yeah, you can buy it and then you have like 30 or 48 days or 60 days or whatever it is to return it. Like
full
they're
refund.
actually, yeah, pushing you to buy the product, take it home, use it, and return it. Well, most people might think that's great and wonderful, but not the manufacturers and the
Melanie
company.
would
Th-
die.
that would kill us because, I mean, if
Oh,
people are just, you know, and they're purposely promoting it that way, that is so hurtful to the companies, the
manufacturer, yeah,
manufacturers.
especially
It's like,
small ones,
I
these
don't know
indie
how you,
ones.
you wouldn't survive. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
So I was like, no, I'll just wait. I'm not going to buy all these, products and try
Yeah.
them and return them because
Oh,
the companies have to eat that. You don't, I mean, there's nothing
100% eat
else you
it.
can do with that. It
Yep.
doesn't
The
go back to
stores don't eat
Ulta.
that.
They don't eat that. It goes
Nope.
back to the
Manufacturer.
manufacturer. So that's really hurtful.
Yeah. You know what else is cool about that? Is not only
It's not
do the
cool.
right. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. You know what else is really cool about that people don't realize is that the manufacturer eats that whole dollar amount.
Yeah.
But you know what else?
Hmm.
Those stores will charge the manufacturer to dispose of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So they'll
don't think that they're, companies are making out being in those stores because
they're not.
you're a lot of times losing money. And especially in that situation, thank God we're not in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we'll talk more about this topic next week again some more, and let's do some questions and we'll wrap it up. How about that?
Mm.
You ready?
Okay.
Oh, I don't need my glasses now.
Oh,
Disappearing.
okay.
All right. Let's see. Let me get into. Bear with me a second.
Should I?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Well, I finally got around to trying my birthday gift that you bought for me. You'll be glad to know.
Oh,
So speaking of other
tell
products, and
us.
for
That's
those of you
right.
out there that always bash me or us for not talking or promoting other products, well, here you go. Ken had gotten me this Uncle Funky's Daughter travel kit, and someone was asking about the curl stimulator, the magic,
A lot of people said they
curly magic.
love it. Love it,
Okay.
love it, love it.
Well, I tried it today.
Did you love it, love it, love it?
I have to say, I liked it. I
Really?
did. Yeah. My hair, I mean, you can see I got really nice volume. I got really nice curl formation and definition. It's soft. It's definitely more defined than I thought I was going to get. When I was first applying it, I thought it had such a weird feeling to me. It felt slimy. And I thought this must have silicone in it. It just had this like slimy feel to it and it was soft. So I thought, oh gosh, my curls are going to just be flat, and more like they would be if I used a cream or a mousse. But somehow, amazingly, it's set up and it gave you a cast. And,
A cream gave you a
well,
cast.
it's not a cream, it's a curl stimulator and it is a gel. They do call it a gel. Provides firm hold, shine, and definition. And I would say it did. And then as I looked into the ingredients, it looked clean. So I would say thumbs up.
Thumbs up on it,
Yeah,
really.
I liked it. I
Huh.
didn't love the smell when I was applying it, but it too disappeared. So these ingredients are like microscopic. Even if I put on my readers, it's very hard. But as far as what I can tell from glancing through them, looking at the booklet, they must be, clean. They must be not artificial fragrances either because I don't smell it in my hair.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
You're
So
welcome. When are you going to try out your bike, your other
I
birthday
will.
present?
I'll get to it. But yeah, I
Still
would have to
sitting in the
say
garage, untouched,
yeah, I
with a
approve. I
spider
think
web on it.
it was a good product, and my curls look good. So
Cool.
that was fun.
All right. Melanie, I need some advice for my son. He is 15, special needs, and wants to grow his hair out long. San Diego surfer style, if you will. He has very coarse, dense, low porosity type 3B, 3C hair. I am just the opposite with fine, thinner type 2 waves curls. I buy the expensive stuff for myself, but there is no way in the world I'm going to spend that kind of cash on him when he loves using gobs of shampoo and conditioner. This is going to be a process in learning a new routine, and I need to get my hands on this one. That said, I have no clue where to start with products for him. He needs both protein and moisture, and also needs to wash daily because he is a stinky teenager. I don't think a co-wash will cut it. Low to mid-range price points is what I'm looking for. He can use my clarifying shampoo as I rarely use it. I was planning on using the Mealy Mint Deep Conditioner unless there is a more intense one. Product suggestions would be greatly appreciated. I do have a Sally's down the street. Yeah. What do you think? He's 15.
Yeah, I get that. And definitely, I agree that, he's probably going to be washing.
And he's going to
Best to
be
wash
wasting a lot of your
daily.
stuff.
Yeah, I get that. So what would the other like store products better than I do, or like price points? What I don't know what this was.
That's a mid level.
Try that.
Yeah, that's tough. If it was up to me, if you're looking to save some money on him, I would probably go with a cheaper shampoo for him, and use some of the savings to get maybe a better quality conditioner, because it's got tighter curls, and and find a decent gel or curl cream, and use use those. Just use those stylers because he's 15.
Yeah.
Use a gel or a curl cream.
Yeah.
That way, a little better.
Keep it simple,
conditioner.
especially for guys. I mean, I just had. Well, this was cute. This is a fun fact. So I wish I had pictures. We'll have to pull out pictures again because the male curly client that I had several months ago was just in for his second appointment, and he's doing really well with his routine. His curls looked amazing, but he had to confess that he saves the raw curls products for special events, like going out when he wants his hair to look really nice. And he's using other products in between for the same reason. No, he can afford it. But anyway, I don't know. It's just the guy, keeping it simple, whatever, and washing his hair every day. But yeah, he saves the raw curls for special events. And I said, well, you definitely need to go out more because, he didn't need more products yet. And it's been, oh gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 months since he's been in. Doesn't have a lot of hair, but anyway, it looks great. He's doing great. So that was fun and exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, and I'm just looking at this little travel kit that you got me, and I only use the the Magic Curl Stimulator, but they do have a Miracle Moisture Cream in here, a leave-in conditioner. Oh, they had
that kit was not cheap.
Oh, okay. And they had no cleanser. That was the weird thing.
That was the weird thing. That was mostly.
But like you're saying, you could get a different cleanser, and
as I said, that's the thing you could skimp on.
Oh wait, we have some of that Mealy.
That Mealy's not cheap either.
Oh, but you can get it at Sally's. Oh, because it's the Mealy. I think when I looked at that, it was okay. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So that might be a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good choice. It's a mid-price product. It might be.
Yeah, not terrible.
It just made me think of something, and I'll bring it up. And it goes back to our discussion before when we were talking about products. I think I even brought this up on another show before, but maybe 4 months ago now, we had some insider friends that we know in the curly hair or in the hair industry, retail that contacted us and said, "Hey, um, if you would like to get your raw curls line in our major retail chain, we can get you in
Mm.
now."
Mm.
Now, and this is somebody we know really well. We had a business relationship with for a long time, and so one of these people is very, very high up in the buying segment of health and beauty products for this very large national chain. And they said, put a package together of like, you know, 2 like liter bottles and, you know, at a certain price point, whatever. I'm like, where roughly do I have to be? Like, well, you know, typically what we sell is in XYZ price line. And I'm like, there's no way I can do that. There's no way I can do that. And they said, well, there's other brands, and they listed off a number of other, you know, major brands, not so much curly hair products, but major brands. They said, they're in there, they're doing it. You know, you can't get to this price point.
Well, we have to make it non-organic then.
Well,
That's the whole thing.
that's what we talked about. Because remember, then I brought it to you. I'm like, all right, do we take our brand, you know, because we've kind of backed ourselves into this own.
You could just be
our
like a
own corner.
L'Oreal and you have your organic brand
Right.
and your non-organic brand. I
Right.
mean, that's the only way you can do it. And that's whether people choose to believe it or not, it's the truth, you know, and that's what, you know, the quality of these ingredients are expensive. They're hard to get. They're hard, you know, it's just, it costs a lot of money. So, you know, if we wanted to do that, we'd have to make a cheaper quality product.
Yeah. We would have to.
Just like a lot of these other companies and have several, you know.
Well, here's another thing.
Your salon quality and your retail, whatever, big box quality.
Right. But I wanted you guys to know that because that really, I mean, that conversation really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so to the point of the people that said, well, you know, the economies of scale of buying more, you know, would bring it down, whatever. I'm like, I can't retail one 33-ounce bottle, liter, you know, for what they wanted me to retail a 2-pack of 33-ounce bottles. I'm like, I just can't do this. But, you know, then we had the discussion. We're like, okay, do we do this with not organic ingredients? And I hit my suppliers up to try to figure this out, which we hadn't in the past, right? We hadn't. And they told me under no, and this could bring up another discussion for another time, but the amount of cost wouldn't come down significantly enough by us going to non-organic ingredients to even get us close to those price points. It wouldn't be worth it. And when I pressed my suppliers on it, they pressed back saying, there's not this pot of gold that you're expecting, you know, to show up by doing this, you know, by going with non-organic. And you know, so kind of the discussions kind of stopped. The reason that I said this could be another topic for another discussion, another topic for another time, if that's really the case, then why aren't these other manufacturers using better quality organic ingredients instead of the crap they're using? If the price isn't that much different at scale, you know, at giant scale. That's what they're telling me. You know.
But isn't that kind of contradicting what we just talked about?
Well, no, not really at that. What I'm saying is there's no significant difference. It's not bringing the price down that much, enough to be significant. So that's the point of that I was saying before, is they were saying, well, they, you know, some of these manufacturers are buying so much more, that's why they can sell for less. And I'm telling you that, you know, I've got a 3,000 store retail chain in the United States that's saying, hey, here's a purchase order. And I'm saying, I can't bring my price down at those levels, which is that's a lot. That is a lot. And it's not there. My point being that extra profit that you think all these manufacturers are it's not there. It just isn't. I wish it was, because I'd be driving a Lambo instead of a 100,000-mile VW.
But now I think
as is my
you're
lovely bride.
you're confusing people. I think you're confusing people.
Why? How?
Because we just talked about if you use cheaper quality ingredients, that's how you make the cheaper products. So what are you saying?
I meant on a when you're talking about salon brands. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I shouldn't talk any more about that because people are going to put two and two together when they start saying that. That who knows? That deal might happen. We're not talking about it, but you never know. I don't know how. It would take a lot of time and effort. Let's do it. You want to do one more question?
Sure. I can. I also wanted to. You usually ask me about the salon. This week was so interesting. I had so many really great curly clients that came in. A couple new ones. Georgiana from New York, and this was interesting. She was trying desperately to get here. She had an appointment in March. She was so excited, and she had to cancel it because that's when they had that big snowstorm, and she got stuck. She couldn't even leave New York, and she was so disappointed. So she finally got into the salon this past week, and I did her hair, and I posted pictures of that, and it was amazing. She had beautiful. Oh, that was the one that was real thin and stringy on the ends, and she had amazing big, lift and bouncy curls in her hair. But, originally she in the consultation said she wanted to keep it longer and not lose a lot of length. But when we looked at it together, and I pointed out, she also said she wanted to look more thick and healthy. So you can clearly see when you hand someone the mirror, and she knew, and you can see it in the pictures, there was about like several inches of just stringy see-through hair. And, I'll ultimately do what the client wants. And if they are only comfortable taking an inch or two, that's fine. I'm not all about chopping the hair off. But, once we looked at it together, and I could point out this is the spot where I'd need to cut it up to really give you that healthy, thicker looking hair, she said, do it. And we were both so happy because it looked really awesome. And then I had another girl, let me think. Katie was her name. She came in, and that was the really super long hair that was like heavy. And when she first walked in, I wrote to Jessica straight because, she was booked for a curly cut, and her hair like wasn't even curly. And I thought, God, did she, we always make sure to tell them to come in with her hair down and curly how they would wear it. And it looked straight, like she hardly even had any waves, but it was down to her butt. And once I got to feel the hair, it was so thick. It was very fine, but super thick. Like I would have to put both my hands around it to, make a ponytail. And then I was panicking, like, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough time? Because that hair, I knew right away it was going to be low porosity, which takes forever to dry and whatever. But anyway, she too, I thought for sure was going to want to keep all that length because they always do, but gave me permission to take it up. She was the one who chose where she wanted it cut up to, and wanted to release some of that weight and get some lift and more curl in her hair, and it came out just so beautiful. It was great. So, you can see what a difference it makes to get a curly cut and to be able to remove some of that weight and how it can bounce your curls up. So we are very happy with that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And while I'm thinking of it, if you are a salon owner or stylist in the greater Metro Philadelphia area, and you'd be willing to host a 2-day Raw Curls Academy workshop, we'd love for you to contact us. So reach out to my assistant, wholesale at rawhairorganics.com, and let them know, because we'd love to go train up some stylists in the Philadelphia area. Otherwise, we're going to take a trip there this summer, and we're going to be there like 2 weeks. There's so many people that want to get into Melanie.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, wow.
We'll be living in, well, I got to know somebody out there that we can park in their driveway. Anyway, one last question, and then we'll wrap it
Chuck
up.
lives there.
Has he got a big, long driveway?
No idea.
Yeah. Hi. I've only recently started learning about how to work with curly hair, and I was wondering if you had any advice. Up until a short while ago, I was washing every day with shampoo and conditioner meant for straight hair, and I'm now discovering the damage I've done. Dum, dum, dum. At its healthiest, my hair is in loose coils, but most of it is frizzy and limp wavy now. Do you know how to fix this and what products to use?
Yes, well, I didn't post these pictures. I should do that for next week. We actually took pictures of Jessica, my assistant's hair, this week at the salon because it, it was just amazing. When she came to me, her hair was definitely over processed blonde. And what that does is it breaks it down and you lose your curl. It can cause your curls to be limp and like straight, and that's exactly what was going on. And it's gotten to the point where I mean, I still have her hair like super highlighted right now. It's really blonde, but because of using the right products and because of getting on our system and getting the raw curls cut, that curl in the front was like a total spiral. We couldn't even believe that was like her curliest piece. I said,
Show us the pictures.
oh,
You don't have them?
I do. Well, what should I
Next week?
text it to Helen?
No, it's too late.
Okay, next week we'll bring that up. But yeah, it was like a total spiral. That front curl, super blonde piece. It was amazing. Anyway, we were both laughing about it. So it went from being her straightest piece to now her curliest piece. It's just curl magic.
Yeah.
So anyway, read that to me again.
I don't know if I can.
Mm.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Hi, I've only recently started learning about how to work with curly hair, and I was wondering if you had any advice. Up until a short while ago, I was washing every day with shampoo and conditioner meant for straight hair, and I'm now discovering the damage I've done. At its healthiest, my hair is in loose coils, but most of it is frizzy and limp wavy now. Do you know how to fix this and what products to use?
So to me, I'm hearing that maybe there's some buildup on there because if she was using what she calls products for straight hair, maybe
Yeah.
they were smoothing the hair,
Yep.
heavy on the hair. So maybe, silicones and things that were building up. So I would suggest clarifying it. If you have to clarify it more than once, try to remove what is on the hair and then do a deep conditioner and start with the right kind of products like Raw Curls or some of these other products we've talked about that definitely are going to give the right amount of moisture into your hair so that it can bounce up the curls. And of course a curly cut is going to help that as well because that's what it does. It helps to encourage or do whatever the hair needs, and in this case it needs to encourage getting more curl, so help to bounce it up. But the key things always in curly hair are the products and the cut.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Products and cut. All right, that's a wrap for show number 216. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, same place, same time for the next episode of the Curly Hair Q&A show. Have a great
Curly week.
bye.
Bye.